Hi guys, in this video, I'll talk about Pandas library. Before the lesson, we produce content related AI and data science. Please don't forget to subscribe and leave comment. Let's get started. One of the most important steps of data analysis is data preprocessing. Data scientists take up to 8% of their time in data preprocessing and data cleaning. These steps are done easily with Pandas. Pandas is a must-know library for anyone who wants to become a data scientist. In this tutorial, I'll use Jupyter Notebook to write code. You can also use PyCharm or VS Code. First of all, let's import Pandas library. Import Pandas SPD. Now, I am gonna load our dataset. Data is easily loaded with the read CSV method in Pandas. Let me set pd.read_csv, and in this method, I am gonna write the name of the dataset, vg_salesglobal.csv. I am gonna run this cell. As you can see, dataset is written on the screen. The dataset is the video games sales dataset. Note that you can access this dataset from description below. You can see the rows and columns of datasets. Note that when loading the dataset, make sure that the dataset file and the notebook are in the same directory. In the dataset, there are columns such as rank, game name, platform, year, etc. Let's index the game names in the dataset. To do this, I'm gonna use the index call argument. Let me set name, and then I'm gonna assign the dataset to the games variable. You can use the heat method to see the first row of the dataset. Games.heat. As you can see, the game names are indexed and the first 5 rows are written. The dataset consists of rows and columns. There are two data structures in Pandas. These are series and data frame. A data structure consisting of rows and columns such as Excel is called data frame. And a data structure consisting of a single column is called series. Data frame can include different data structures such as numeric or categorical. To see the last rows of the dataset, you can use the tail method. Games tail. By default, the last 5 rows are written on the screen. You can also see the last 10 rows if you want. To do this, let me set 10 in this method. When you run this cell, as you can see, 10 rows are written on the screen. Now, let's see the number of rows. To do this, I am gonna use the len method. Len games. You can see the structure of the dataset with the shape attribute. Games.shape. The number of rows and columns of the dataset are written to the screen. With data type, you can see the data types of the columns. Games.datatypes. As you can see, data types of columns are written on the screen. You can see any row in the dataset to the screen. iLog is used for this. Let's say we want to see the 300 row. I'm gonna set games.ilog method. I'm gonna use square bracket and set 299 because indexes start from 0 in Python. Where you go? There is no one who does not know the game of Super Mario. Let's select this game with index label. Log method is used for this. Games.log, set square brackets, and let me write Super Mario Bros. 2 rows made in 1985 and 1999 were written on the screen. Games are sorted by rank column. Now let's sort the games by year column. Games.sort values by year.heat. So the dataset was sorted by year. The ascending argument is used to sort by the ascending values. Let's set this argument false. Let me set ascending argument equals false. You can also sort by 2 columns. Copy and paste above command here. Let's sort the dataset by year and genre. To do this, I'm gonna use square bracket and then let me set genre. As you can see, the dataset is sorted by year and genre. You can also sort the dataset by index. To do this, games.sort index hit. Thus, the indexes in the dataset were sorted alphabetical order. We can select a column in the dataset. For example, let's select the publisher column. To do this, I am gonna use square brackets. Let me set games, square brackets, publisher. This column is in a series structure. Now, let's see the values in the column. I'm gonna set hit 10. Sometimes you may want to filter rows. For example, let's see the games that are the action. To do this, games, square brackets, again games, square brackets, genre, equal, action. As you can see, action games are written on the screen. We can assign the filter to a variable. I'm gonna set games by genre, games, genre, equal, action. Then let's filter by this variable. Let me write the name of the dataset, square brackets, games by genre, hit. Now that, let's create a variable to select games made in 2010. Let me games in 2010 equal to games year equal 2010. Now let's filter by two variables we have. Games square brackets, games by genre, and games in 2010. So the action genre games made in 2010 were written on the screen. We can also see games made in 2010 or in the action genre. To do this, I'm gonna use a pipe. Let me copy this command and paste in here. I'm gonna use pipe symbol. Here you go. We can also see values greater or less than a value. For example, let's say we want to see games made after 2015. First, let's create a variable. After 2015 equals to games year greater 2015. Now let's filter by this variable. Games square brackets after 2015. So the games made after 2015 were written on the screen. We can also specify a certain range. For example, let's see the game between 2000 and 2010. Mid 2000s equal to games year between 2000 2010. Now let's filter by this variable. Games mid 2000s. Here you go. We can also filter by indexes. For example, let's see the game names with support in them. The str command is used to use string methods. First of all, let's convert the text of the indexes to lowercase with the strlower command. Games index str lower. Then find the names with support in them with the contain method. Let me set str dot contain method support. I'm gonna assign a variable support in title. Now let's filter by this variable. Games support in title. I hit error message. String method object has no attribute contain. Let me set contains. I'm gonna run again. As you can see, games with support in their name are written on the screen. You can find the statistic of the numeric columns in the dataset. For example, let's find the name of global sellers. To do this, let me set games, square brackets, global sellers, mean method. As you can see, the mean of the global sellers column is written on the screen. You can group by a column in the dataset. For this, the group by method is used. For example, let's group by genre column. First, let's create the group object, genres, games, group by genre. After that, let's print the total value of global sales. I'm gonna use the sum method for this. Genres, square brackets, global sales dot sum. There you go. If you want, you can sort values in descending order with the sort values method. To do this, let me set dot sort values ascending equals false. Here you go. Pandas has many more methods. I showed you some important methods in this video. I'll continue Pandas tutorial in next video. That's it. Thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment. You can find the dataset and the notebook I used the lesson in the description below. See you in the next video. Bye for now.